Hijab debate is back in the national spotlight, and this time the flashpoint is an Allahabad High Court order. Ladies and gentlemen, the Allahabad High Court has dismissed the plea of a minor Muslim student who wanted to wear a headscarf in addition to the prescribed uniform at a private CBSE school in Prayagraj. The court says the claim that wearing the headscarf is an essential religious practice was not proven. Crucially, the court said there was no authoritative religious text or sufficient material placed on record to establish that wearing the scarf inside the classroom was obligatory, or that not wearing it would alter the fundamental character of this young girl's faith. The court has also backed the school's authority to enforce its dress code. It says that as long as a uniform policy is uniform, bona fide and non-discriminatory, it primarily falls within the school's domain. The court says uniforms promote discipline, equality, institutional identity, and a religion-neutral atmosphere. Let's break down what exactly the Allahabad High Court has said. What they are saying is that their entire order is for religion-neutral atmosphere, that every school needs to have a religion-neutral atmosphere. They are saying that the uniform must be bona fide and the uniform has to be non-discriminatory. They are also saying that the uniform instills discipline. It instills equality for religion-neutral atmosphere. And the court has also argued that just because scarves have been used in the past, possibly in this school as well, it doesn't create a right for students to go on wearing the headscarf if the school isn't okay with it. What the court is also saying is that a student cannot force the relaxation of a school's policy. Now, this writ petition, as you know, has now been dismissed by the High Court. And it is precisely the religious practice finding that has now triggered a pushback from Muslim clerics. Maulana Khalid Rashid Firangi Mehli, he's saying that the Quran and the Hadith make it clear that hijab is an integral and essential part of Islam. He says school rules must be followed, but argues that if a girl wants to cover her head, there should be no objection. He now says a review of the Allahabad High Court ruling will be sought. The Shia community leader, Maulana Saif Abbas, has gone further. He says the Quran makes hijab obligatory and mandatory for women, arguing that the lawyer appearing in the case failed to properly establish the religious position before the High Court. He's also saying the matter now will be taken up by the Supreme Court.
एक बात बहुत ही गौर करने की है कि इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट ने जो ये सेंटेंस कहा है कि हिजाब इस्लाम का हिस्सा नहीं है, मैं ये समझता हूं कि हिजाब के लिए कुरान करीम में वाज़े तौर के ऊपर लिखा है कि हिजाब औरत को करना चाहिए और इस्लाम का ये अहम हिस्सा है। हिजाब औरत के ऊपर वाजिब है, कंपलसरी है, जरूरी है। 10% के ऊपर हम नहीं लगा सकते हैं और ये वाज़े तौर के ऊपर है। जो वकील साहब हमारे थे हाई कोर्ट में, मैं ये समझता हूँ वो इस बात को क्लियर नहीं कर पाए हैं कि या रेफरेंस नहीं दे पाए हैं कि इस्लाम में हिजाब बहुत जरूरी है। मैं समझता हूँ कि अगर ये बात यहाँ पे आके रुकी है तो इस मैटर को सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाना चाहिए।
The Quran and the Hadith has very clearly mentioned that hijab is very much an integral and essential part of Islam. In Quran, Allah has very clearly mentioned in Surah Nur and Surah Hijab that all the Muslim girls and women must dress modestly, and the same have been mentioned in these ayat regarding the hijab or regarding the parda. So I think that there is some what confusion as far as this particular thing is concerned.
The battle, ladies and gentlemen, as you can expect in a poll-bound state, is no longer confined to the courtroom. It is political now. Ministers in the UP government and BJP leaders have strongly backed the verdict. Take a listen.
देखिए, देश संविधान से चल रहा है और संविधान में ऐसी कोई व्यवस्था नहीं है कि एक ही विद्यालय में 4 तरह के बच्चे हों। कोई कहे हम क्रिश्चियन ड्रेस पहन के आएंगे, कोई कहे हम इस्लाम का ड्रेस पहन के आएंगे। जो हाई कोर्ट ने फैसला दिया है, हाई कोर्ट का फैसला सही है कि विद्यालय में जो ड्रेस अलाउ है वो सभी बच्चे एक साथ एकरूपता के लिए, कि भेदभाव ना हो। जो लोग इसका विरोध कर रहे हैं उनको पहले तो ये अपनी मानसिकता से उबरना चाहिए कि देश संविधान से चल रहा है और संविधान में कहीं ऐसी व्यवस्था नहीं कि एक ही विद्यालय में एक ही कमरे में दो तरह का ड्रेस अलाउ हो। तो जो हाईकोर्ट का फैसला है, हाईकोर्ट का फैसला सही है।
Meanwhile, the Samajwadi Party, the main opposition party in Uttar Pradesh, is hitting back, accusing the BJP of pushing politics of communal hate and questioning the BJP's position on what people choose to wear. Listen in to all the political reactions that have come in.
The Honorable Prime Minister says that we can identify people with their paridhan, and then court doesn't allow to wear paridhan whatever you want to wear. Then I have nothing to say. It's a court order. So no comment on the court. I just reminded what Prime Minister says.
But it seems to be the correct legal reasoning, what Allahabad High Court has said. Because ultimately, what is protected under the Constitution is only what is defined as an essential practice of Islam. And there are judgments to that effect also of the Honorable Supreme Court that even a mosque is not an essential practice. What is essential to Islam is namaz 5 times a day, as that judgment, I think, if I recall, puts out. With regard to this, in a secular school which is not run by religion, then obviously there would be a secular dress. The focus is academics. So if this girl feels that wearing a hijab is important, then she can certainly study in a minority institution. And I think the reasoning in the judgment seems to possibly flow from that.
इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट ने जो हिजाब को लेके ओपिनियन दिया है वो इस्लाम से इत्तेफाक नहीं रखता है। भाई देखिए, इस्लाम में पर्दा का एक पूरा प्रॉपर नियम और कानून है। स्कूल में पहनना चाहिए या नहीं पहनना चाहिए, इस पे इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट या जो स्कूल प्रशासन है इस पे प्रतिबंध लगा सकता है अकॉर्डिंग टू रूल ऑफ गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया या गवर्नमेंट ऑफ उत्तर प्रदेश। लेकिन ये कह देना कि हिजाब इस्लाम का हिस्सा नहीं है, ये शायद रिव्यू का विषय है।
I see it as a milestone. At least the law permit is there, and it's not an essential part of Islam, neither it is an essential part of our curriculum, educational curriculum, that you have to wear hijab. Yes, hijab is a curriculum. If you go to all those minority institutions, madrasa udarsa mein hijab is zaruri hai, par jaiye madrasa mein pehnne ke liye. But you are coming to a school, you are not coming to a religious institution that you have to wear hijab. Absolutely a milestone decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now headed straight to Patna, where some rather dramatic visuals are coming to us from. There is high drama in Bihar's capital as students are staging a massive protest seeking the cancellation of the BPSC examination. Let's get you these pictures that are coming to us. These are Bihar government job aspirants marching towards the Chief Minister's residence in Patna. They have broken through police barricades. They are clashing with security personnel. As you can see, not tear gas shells, I beg your pardon, water cannons on your screens being unleashed on these protesters as well, ladies and gentlemen. These are hundreds of students in Patna breaking through police barricades, marching towards the Chief Minister's residence, Samrat Chaudhary's residence, triggering clashes with the Bihar police. These students on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, are Bihar Public Service Commission aspirants. They are the ones intensifying their agitation. Let me go straight across to Saket, who is joining us from the protest side. Saket, show us what is happening right now and why we have no reaction from Samrat Chaudhary, the Chief Minister of Bihar.
डाक बंगला चौराहे पर अभी देखिए यहाँ पर किस तरह के हालात हैं, क्योंकि छात्र लगातार यहाँ पर प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं। पिछले कई घंटों से ये छात्र यहाँ पर जमे हुए हैं। लगभग 14 जो छात्र संगठन है उनके तरफ से ये प्रोटेस्ट है। मुख्यमंत्री आवास का घेराव करने के लिए ये छात्र निकले थे और यहाँ पर उनको रोका गया है। इससे पहले जेपी गोलंबर पर इन छात्रों को पुलिस ने रोका था, वहां से ये लोग बाहर निकले हैं और फिर डाक बंगला चौराहे पर पहुंचे हैं। यहाँ बड़ी संख्या है छात्रों की और सिर्फ छात्र नहीं है बल्कि अलग अलग संगठन के छात्र हैं। साथ ही साथ कुछ और भी मांगों के साथ जो प्रदर्शनकारी हैं वो यहाँ पर जुड़ गए हैं इन लोगों के साथ, और रह रहकर पुलिस को यहाँ पर परेशानी हो रही है इन लोगों को शांत करने में। यहाँ पर वाटर कैनन चलाया गया है क्योंकि जो छात्र हैं वो उग्र हैं, यहाँ पर वो बैरिकेडिंग तोड़कर बाहर आने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। तो ऐसे में उनको रोकने के लिए वाटर कैनन भी चलाया गया है। हाथों में तिरंगा लेकर ये छात्र आप देख भी सकते हैं कि किस तरह से अपना जो प्रदर्शन है, अपना जो प्रोटेस्ट है वो करते हुए दिख रहे हैं। सम्राट चौधरी के इस्तीफे की मांग, जो मुख्यमंत्री हैं बिहार के, इसके अलावा शिक्षा मंत्री के इस्तीफे की मांग ये छात्र कर रहे हैं। और अलग अलग मांग है जिसमें TRE 4 के भी छात्र हैं जिनको जो BPSC 70वीं BPSC परीक्षा हुई थी उसको कैंसिल करने की मांग को लेकर भी छात्र हैं। इसके बाद BTSC का भी जो छात्र है, फिर BPSC दरोगा के लिए जो छात्र उत्तीर्ण हुए थे, तमाम तरह के छात्रों का ये प्रोटेस्ट है। कोई एक मुद्दा नहीं है, अलग अलग मुद्दे पर ये सरकार को घेरने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। और साथ ही साथ सरकार भी कई बार इनसे मुलाकात की है, इनसे बातचीत हुई है, लेकिन एक ठोस नतीजा अब तक नहीं निकला है। और इसी को लेकर छात्रों का प्रदर्शन है। आप देखिए किस तरह से जो छात्र हैं वो अड़े हुए हैं। पुलिस और छात्र आमने सामने यहाँ पर डाक बंगला चौराहे पर है। वाटर कैनन भी चलाया जा रहा है। इन लोगों को यहाँ से हटाने के लिए पूरी मशक्कत पुलिस कर रही है, लेकिन नतीजा नहीं निकल रहा है। छात्र अड़े हुए हैं। हालांकि पुलिस बल प्रयोग नहीं कर रही है छात्रों पर, ये तो तस्वीर दिख रही है, लेकिन बावजूद इसके रोकने की कोशिश है। बैरिकेडिंग जगह जगह आप देख पा रहे हैं किया हुआ है जहाँ पर इनको रोका जा रहा है, लेकिन छात्र हैं कि रुकने का नाम नहीं ले रहे हैं। देखिए एक बार हम आगे चल के आपको तस्वीर दिखाते हैं छात्रों की, किस तरह से यहाँ पर जो प्रोटेस्टर्स हैं, देखिए आप किस तरह से बड़ी संख्या है, बड़ी तादाद है। एक बार हम बात भी कर लेते हैं। क्या आप लोग क्या मांग लेके आए हैं?
सर हम लोग CM आवास की तरफ कुंज करना चाहते हैं। हम लोग की अपनी मांग यह है कि BPSC में जो धांधली चल रहा है, कुछ सीटें बिक रही हैं, जो भी इसमें संलिप्त है उसको अच्छा से जांच किया जाए, कॉपी जांच किया जाए। और हम लोग का जितना भी एग्जाम पहले लिया गया था जो रद्द कर दिया गया, वो किस लिए रद्द कर दिया गया उसकी अच्छा से जांच हो और उस पर पुनः एग्जाम कराने की जल्द से जल्द घोषणा करे सरकार। और जितने भी एग्जाम लंबित है उसको तुरंत लागू किया जाए।
बहुत से मांग है, आप लोगों की क्या मांग है?
मांग यही है कि अभी हम लोग घेराव करेंगे और यही सब करेंगे, और क्या। अभी हम लोग विधानसभा तक जाएंगे,
मुख्यमंत्री तक जाएंगे। मानने वाले नहीं है?
नहीं मानने वाले। हम लोग सिर्फ छात्र लोग नहीं है, किसान भी देख सकते हैं, हजारों संख्या में आए हुए हैं। और मैं एक बात बता दूं, जब तक तोड़ेंगे नहीं, जब तक छोड़ेंगे नहीं।
देखिए प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो किस तरह से यहाँ पर जो छात्र है वो गुस्से में है और लगातार ये कह रहे हैं कि वो मुख्यमंत्री आवास का घेराव करने के लिए जाएंगे। हालांकि फोर्स बहुत बड़ी संख्या में यहाँ पर है। देखिए आप बैरिकेडिंग लगाकर रोकने की कोशिश छात्रों को हो रही है, लेकिन छात्र लगातार आगे बढ़ने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। वाटर कैनन भी चलाया जा रहा है, बावजूद इसके छात्र मानने को तैयार नहीं है।
चलिए साकेत, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस विद द लाइव रिपोर्ट फ्रॉम Patna. Let's see whether these students actually managed to reach Samrat Chaudhary's residence. Who you're seeing is Bihar Public Service Commission aspirants clashing with the police, seeking its cancellation. We are moving now from Patna to Karnataka that has released its draft voter list. And there is a massive shake-up there. Well, more than 1 crore names have been dropped from the earlier electoral roll. The biggest chunk is of voters marked as having shifted, but thousands of others have been marked dead, absent, or duplicated. And this number is about 45% of all of Bengaluru's voters, Greater Bengaluru's voters. This is, ladies and gentlemen, important to know, only a draft, which means the story does not end with these deletions. There is a process for genuine voters to get their names back. Just take a look at numbers because they tell you just how big this exercise is. Now, the earlier roll, as far as Greater Bengaluru is concerned, had 5.54 crore registered voters. The draft roll now has 4.46 crore voters. That is a difference of 1.07 crore names. But remember, these are not final deletions yet. The claims and objection process is still open. So, where did those 1 crore plus names go? The largest category is voters marked as shifted at 65 lakhs. Then there are 16 lakh who are marked as dead. There are 15 lakh who could not be located. And there are 7 lakh entries who've been flagged as duplicates. These are the 4 big categories behind the headline numbers. But there is a key question. On what basis was a voter flagged in the first place? The exercise involved matching current voters against the 2002 electoral roll and checking voter details. Name, age and other details were scrutinized. Where the record suggested that a person had shifted, could not be located or appeared more than once, the name was flagged. The older 2002 electoral rolls was used as a reference point for mapping voters. The current data was then cross-checked against available details, so the names appearing in the draft roll is the result of a verification exercise, not random deletion. Now comes the part that matters most to a genuine voter. If your name has disappeared actually from the draft roll, is this the end of the road? Certainly not. You can challenge the omission. There is a defined claim process, there is a deadline, and then there is verification before the final roll is published. First, check the draft roll. If your name is missing, file Form 6 by September 23rd. Submit your ID and supporting documents, and your claim will then be verified by the BLO. If the claim is found valid, your name can be restored in the final roll, which is scheduled to be published for Bengaluru, Greater Bengaluru, on October 27th. But while the Election Commission says the draft exercise has identified voters who were dead, shifted, absent or duplicated, well, politics is already boiling over the scale of the exercise. Karnataka Minister Ramalinga Reddy says the number of deletions in Bengaluru alone is massive and argues that voters need more time to file their claims. Advocate and co-coordinator of My Vote and My Right campaign, Vinay Srinivas, I beg your pardon, points to the scale of the exercise and questions whether lakhs of voters can actually be heard and resolved within the deadline. Listen in.
Karnataka has the highest numbers under ASDDO list, more than a crore, 1 crore 8 lakhs. The Election Commission themselves have admitted many of those are wrong because people who are alive have been marked dead, those who have not shifted. We've got calls to our My Vote, My Right helpline where people have stayed in the same house for 20 years, they've been marked as shifted. So the ASDDO list is unnaturally high, and definitely there are lakhs of people who don't belong in that list. And now if they want to come back to the list, they have to fill Form 6, which is actually for new voters. Why should somebody who's been voting for so long erase their voting history and say that we are new voters? That is one thing. Secondly, at least 45 lakh hearings have to take place now because 20 plus lakhs have been marked as not mapped to 2002, another 20 plus lakh have been marked as logical discrepancies, and they want to do 45 lakh hearings in 56 days, which I really don't know how it will happen.
Crore 88 lakh voters are deleted. Out of that, around 50 lakh voters are deleted in Bangalore itself because of so many other reasons. Now we have an opportunity. We means the public have an opportunity to Form 6. That time is not sufficient. Election Commission should extend for another 2 more months. That means in 4 months, those who have they don't find their voters in the list, they can apply with proper documents. Election Commission should give some more time.
Let me go across to Imran, who is joining us on the broadcast. Imran, if you look at the headline, that 45% of the 1.04 crore electors recorded across Greater Bengaluru as of June 16, 2026, their names do not appear in the electoral rolls. But if you go beyond the headlines, what is the Election Commission saying? Imran, can you hear me?
Well, the Election Commission is saying that there is a discrepancy in data. Their people must have shifted, or multiple voter ID cards they must have had. So many of them were had voting both in their hometowns, also in Bangalore. Hence, there is a duplication of votes which happened. Now, through the process, they have they removed 46 lakhs, highest in the country. Audio barta hello.
6 lakhs is what they're saying is the voters who have been deleted from here. In fact, we have with us two of the people who have lost their names in the remuneration exercise which has happened. Sir, nimdu yaar wife ka gaya naam?
Wife Tawmani anta. Tawmani. Yeah.
उनका नाम निकल गया है?
हाँ, उनका निकल गया. परमानेंट है, मेरा घर परमानेंट है. अभी परमानेंट घर नहीं है बोल रहा हूँ. शिफ्ट कर दिया घर बोल रहा हूँ.
आपने इलेक्शन कमीशन से बात की है इस पर?
नहीं, अभी फोन उठाया नहीं, फोन उठाता नहीं, फोन भी. हाँ, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, बोलो.
कितने साल से आप लोग यहाँ पे?
26 years. 26. हाँ.
See, we are at Sarvagna constituency. This is the highest number of deletion of voters which happened in Bangalore. Out of 1,130, only 77 voters are remaining here. We have one more gentleman who, as you can see, he has just filled the form 6. Sir, we just want to speak to you for a minute. He has just filled the form 6, where if you are someone whose names is not their list in the electoral roll, he has to fill that form. Sir, आपने form अभी fill किया form 6 किस वजह से? आप यहाँ पर नहीं रह रहे हैं, क्या हुआ है?
ನಾನು ಮೈ ವೈಫು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಬ್ರು ಅವರು ಇವಾಗಿನ ಏಜ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ವೋಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
So he says that his wife and his two daughters' name has been not there listed in the electoral roll as ASDDO has been shifted. He has filled the form 6. Can you show the form, sir? So there you can see. Sir, ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾ 64 years.
He says he's been living here for 64 years, but his name is missing from the electoral roll. As now he's filling the form right now. As you can see, he can show the forms to you. Just now he was filling the forms as we speak, and he's trying to submit it to the local electoral office there. Sir, election commission ಮಾತಾಡಿದರ ಯಾಕೆ ರೋಲ್ ಹೋಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ?
ನೀನು ಮಾತಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು SIF ಹೊಸದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಬಂದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ನಾವು ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಮನೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ. ಆವಾಗ ನಾವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಹಾಕೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋಲ್ಲ. ಹೊಸ ಮನೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋಲ್ಲ. ಹಳೆಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ರೀ ನಿಮ್ದು ಅಂತ.
ಎರಡು ಮನೆ ಇದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ?
ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಮನೆ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಆಗಿದೆ?
ಜೀವನಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಜೈ ಭಾರತ್ ನಗರ್.
So he said that he has shifted from one or to another area. Because of that, he's